Welcome to Bear the Bull. This is a new channel that will mainly focus on crypto markets, but the technical analysis learned here can be translated into traditional markets. We're at an age where people have the tools available but may lack the knowledge or ability to get ahead with their financial investments, market opportunities, and even get through the psychological barriers that big money uses to break the average person down. I've been in the space since 2017, and what I've learned the most is the best investment you'll ever make will be on yourself. On average, they say the market returns about an 8% over a 20-year period. I'd say that's a pretty basic return. The moment you jump into the world of managing your own assets properly, though, you won't want to go back. All markets run on cycles, and being able to potentially see where the money is headed to before anyone else can help limit the risk while maximizing profits. As an intro, we'll cover Bitcoin, which is the big daddy of all crypto, at 900 billion. That way you guys can get an idea of how technical analysis works. So, let's cover Bitcoin. What I set up here is pretty much the support area that we've had for Bitcoin since November 2011. If you draw it down further, it pretty much kind of arcs that way. So, as long as we don't drop below that, we're probably going to continue going up year over year. So there's various things that I want you guys to pay attention to. One is the price now is about 48,000. It's a little bit over 48,000. Now, if you guys knew me back in, I've been in the space since 2017. I know I've told you over the years that you guys should probably buy some crypto. And if you would have got some Bitcoin at its lowest point, which was unexpected actually, which was a black swan event, the COVID breakout, you would have made, let's see where we're at right now. So if we would have got somewhere at the bottom, so that's 11,000. 1,169%. That's huge. That's 11x. So whatever you would have put in here, say you would have just put $1,000 back in 2020, right now it would have been worth 11,000. So that's pretty big. Now you go back further. Maybe you got lucky and you heard about Bitcoin back over here. I don't know if you would call it luck or not lucky, depending on your time frame, I guess. You bought Bitcoin at $1,126. Now, the interesting thing about investments and trading is that depending on your time frame, you might think you got a good price or you might think you got a bad price. So if I were to draw a line up from that area, it's 4,301%. So let's say about 4,000. So that's 40x. So whatever money you would have invested up here and then it crashed down. Here, let me do a price range. So it crashed down about 85, 86%. You probably would have been crying. You probably would have been shaken out. You might have sold. And you would have think Bitcoin is a scam. It's BS. And unknowingly, if you would have just held that for a few more years, it would have been worth about, 40x what it was. So if you would have put the same $1,000 there, it would have been worth $40,000 now. So the interesting thing about technical analysis is you can kind of see patterns and you can see trends. So these blue lines are actually halving events which Bitcoin runs on. And as you can see, after every halving, it actually shoots up and then it comes back down and then it shoots up and then it comes back down. And currently, I believe we're just past the mid cycle, and I see it continuing further up. Now, something I want you guys to take into consideration is, where's my indicators? Are the indicators that we use to check out and do reviews on crypto or stocks or any types of markets. So for Bitcoin, we have here moving averages. We'll start off with the top and then I'll talk about the bottom. So these moving averages give you an idea of how price is behaving compared to previous price. So these are averages on time frames. So I want you to take a look here at this big yellow one. This is the 20-day or 200-day moving average. So this is like for big moves. So as you can see here, the black swan event, which like it broke it and pushed everything down. There was a lot of fear here. And then if you would have just bought at that area instead of selling, because what a lot of people don't understand is the market psychology. When you're fearful, you don't tend to make the most rational decisions. And when that happens, you become easily influenced by, I guess, if we're talking about markets, by price. You're fearful, you get scared, you start thinking like, well, I'm losing my money. This could have been used for my family, or I need it for some trips I was going to take, or whatever you think. A lot of people tend to sell. When in fact the big money whales, institutions, they're generally buying at these areas. Why? People would say like, oh, it's risky, and they actually do the opposite of that. Why? Because everybody wants to buy when it's green. There's a lot of people buying Bitcoin up here, but people didn't want to buy it down here. If you would have been able to pull up these moving averages, you would have seen a trend that has happened over the years. You see these? You would have bought here, and then you would have been profitable. You would have bought here, you would have bought here, and you would have been profitable. So these are some of the things that you can expect to learn. And of course, there's different time frames, but from being able to learn how to manage your assets when it comes to either stocks or when it comes to crypto, and making better decisions on when to buy, when to sell, because these moves may look minuscule on the chart, but in fact, just this move alone was about 50%. Yeah, 50%. It was like 55 in total, I think, from top to bottom. I'm just going to say 55%. Okay, so 55%. So if you would have invested $1,000 here, $10,000 here, that would have been cut in half to $5,000. Everything is relative to percentage, so that's something I recommend you always try and look out for. So if you would have caught the bottom over here during this black swan event, you would have been up 11x. That's a great freaking number. 11x. For you put in $1,000, you would have had $11,000. You put in $10,000, you would have had $110,000. Now, like I said, I don't think crypto is over, and this is for various reasons. So this area of support at 1.618 is a natural area that has happened before around the mid cycles. And generally what happens around there is it shoots up. What I believe may happen in the short term in the next few weeks is we may have a drop down to flush out, weekends as we call them. And then after that, all the big money is going to buy that back. And then, like I said, when people get emotional in markets, there's fear and there's greed. So when people see a lot of green, they get greedy. When people see red, they get fearful. And Warren Buffett always said, be greedy when markets are fearful, and be fearful when markets are greedy. So big money generally does the opposite of what the average person does. Their goal is not for you to win. Their goal is for them to win, obviously. So I want you to take a look at here, the bottom area. This is the RSI. So if you were to say like, you know what, I don't know how to check these EMAs, I don't understand them, the RSI gives you another indication. I don't run just off of one indicator. I run off of various indicators. These are like the two most basic ones. I actually use 5 or 6, but to keep it simple for you guys today in this intro, I'm just going to be running these indicators. So as far as for the RSI, as you can tell here, this was a top area, and then it was way overshot. This area. As you can tell, what happened when we hit the top, it comes to the bottom. And then from the bottom, It goes back up to the top, and then from the top goes all the way down to the bottom, because this was the end of the cycle. So this is the end of the cycle. This is another end of the cycle, and we are about midway in the cycle, if you believe me or not. I believe Bitcoin will reach at least 140K. I have seen some very generous predictions, price predictions, but I believe 140K is doable regardless of what you think right now. And this is based on various data. But like I said, um, technical analysis in technical analysis there's always adjustments. So if you were to see this chart and be like, you know what, I bought the top, what's the worst that can happen? That, like, from past data, I buy the top, I wait it out, and then it shoots up, what, 11x? How much was it from here to there? Let's see. So from here to here, it was 1,720%. So, 17, it's not bad. And this is in log scale. So I made it easier to view on a logarithmic view. But if you want to see how it feels, it feels more like this. Okay. So this is where we're at right now. It feels huge, but I want you to take another perspective and see how these moves look back then. As the market gets bigger, those previous moves look smaller. So over time, you can see it not looking as big as it did here, even though it's a 1,720% move. So technical analysis helps you gauge various points of data. It is very useful for a lot of things. And every time Bitcoin's cycle comes to pass, it makes a huge uproar in the news, in the markets, on Twitter. And people FOMO in, fear of missing out. They just jump into the market not knowing what they're getting themselves into. So if you guys are interested in crypto, you guys are interested in Bitcoin and technical analysis, I recommend you follow my Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description down below. And I have 3 tiers. One is the very basic tier, which will pretty much do like a recap of the week for people that just want the most basic thing ever. And then all the price predictions and the trading that I do will be on the gold tier if you want to follow and invest in some of the coins that I'm invested in at the price points that I believe are the best bang for your buck, as I would say. The lowest risk was with the highest maximum profits available. Now there's various types of coins, so if there's something that you're interested in, you'll also be able to submit or request certain coins to be reviewed. That's not a problem. And for those that are like really beginner, I would recommend the platinum tier, and that one's only available for a certain amount of people because it gets kind of hectic with the scheduling. But the good thing about that is you get one-on-one sessions with me, so you can see how various tools can be used, and then we can go into the different types of types of ways to trade, because some people trade on the longer time frame, some people trade on the 4 hour, 2 hours, some people day trade, some people swing trade. There's no right way to trade. It's whatever fits you. And this generally works for various types of investments, for even properties, real estate, though I won't generally focus on that. If you do have questions about that, I can help you out with that. Also, risk management is one of the biggest things you can do. It will protect you from pretty much panic. Like when stuff like this happen, you'll be okay. You'll keep like a straight head, and you'll be able to sleep at night peacefully. And your partner won't yell at you or like scream at you, and you'll be good. So risk management is very important, because it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. If you YOLO everything and the market goes sideways, or you were expecting some money for like rent and now you can't pay it, it just gets out of hand. So I would always recommend to have like a fund set aside and what you're willing to invest, or as they say, like what you're willing to lose, because this market is crazy. But if you view it over time, it's only gone up. So something that's funny that not many people are aware of or like pay attention to is that if you've at least held Bitcoin for 4 years, you've never been in the negative. You've never been in the negative because it's only gone up. And on average, I believe the return is about 400% year over year once it's been averaged out. So I really don't see where you can get 400% in the stock market if you're just doing basic stock trades. Or at least anyone that has like a financial planner or investment like firm that's like, like what are those called, like those 401k investment planning types of I guess not projects, but that they come with your company and they're like, oh, we'll manage, yeah, there we go, management firms for your 401ks. Like, I've never seen returns like this. That's why I enjoy crypto. If you want to get into like the crazier stuff for calls and put options and in stocks, then I would say like some of these return numbers are possible. You just have to know how to trade and make sure that you have that money set aside. Same thing with like any type of investment that you do, because you never know what's going to happen. Like over here we had the black swan event. So risk management is number one. Technical analysis is very important. I would rank that as number two. But like, make sure you have your peace of mind. That is the most important thing that you can ask for. Too many people can't sleep at night. Too many people worry. Too many people get wrecked. Like there's some people that took out home loans back up over here, and then it crashed. And I hope they're okay. But this is why it's important to do your technical analysis research. Some people say, "Oh, it doesn't work." I just showed you it freaking works. Like touched here, it goes up. Touched here, goes up. Touched here, goes up. Like touched here, goes up. So there are people who don't know what they're doing, and this is another reason that I'm kind of doing this for people, because I don't want people to get wrecked or be given bad information. So I try and do my best for you guys. If you guys want to follow, go ahead and follow. But all the like reviews that'll be on gold tier will be the most recent ones. I'll try and do them daily, and the platinum ones will have access to have one-on-ones with me, and we can review various coins. And you can ask whatever questions you want in different types of markets. So in the meantime, hopefully this was helpful. Good luck trading, and hopefully talk to you soon. Peace.